Hello, hello. Welcome to my Millennial Mortgage Mama podcast. I am Erica.davis, and this is
April Barger.
So, hello. Thank you for joining. This is my first ever podcast. This has been a dream of mine for many years. And a long time ago, just to let you guys know, me and April are actually sisters, and she had a baptism by fire joining the mortgage industry and being a part of my team. We'll get to that. But when we were younger, we always said we were going to have A&E Productions because we love doing videos with the handheld recorder, all that being silly. We are very much like comedians to each other, and I think this podcast fits in well for later in life because we're still silly. But I'm going to start a little bit about me and about the podcast, and then I will let April introduce herself, and we will go from there. Okay, so I am Erica.davis, officially the Emerald Coast Lender. Yes, I have an LLC now in that name. Very happy to have that. I have been in banking for about 18 years, and mortgages being about 9.5 of those. I'm a local here in the Panhandle of Florida, and I live in Niceville, which is near Destin. For those who do not know Niceville, yes, Niceville is really nice. It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, much better than other places. But I was originally from South Carolina. I moved here about 15 years ago, and I'm so thankful to call the Panhandle home. And in this industry, I have learned a lot, and I have met amazing people, amazing lenders, title, insurance, real estate agents, contractors, home inspectors. I could go on and on. And the reason for this podcast is because I think all of us can say, I know I personally have cried on this job. I have had stress, early gray hair, and also really good moments. But I think there has been a lot of funny moments too, where what the bleep just happened kind of thing. What?
That's true.
Do you you would never think people, trying to buy a house would do something crazy, but that's the fun of it is yes, we teach and we tell, but we can't control others. So some of these stories, we won't use real names, right? But we're going to kind of tell and laugh about the industry because sometimes laughing is better than crying. So I also am a mama, and I have my son Emmett and my daughter Allie, and my two doggies. I have Willie dog, who is 13, almost 14, and then I just adopted a little doggy, Molly Bean, who is pretty much a little French bulldog. I think she's mixed terrier too, but that's a little bit about me. I love the outdoors here. I love connecting, and God is also my number one. All right, April, your turn.
That was quite the introduction.
Yeah.
I liked it. That was a compliment.
Yeah. Okay.
So Erica's the trailblazer of our family because she was the first to move to Florida, and then we all followed her. We migrated down here is what I like to say.
Yeah.
So I think it's been about 13 years that I've been here. And I just started in the mortgage industry. I don't know, I dragged my feet a little bit because I'm finance, I don't know, but then there's so much more to it than that. And it has been really rewarding, the process, even with all the stress and tears and laughter.
Yes.
So I have 4 kids. I was going to say I'm in charge of a traveling circus, but
That's pretty much the chaos hurricane.
yeah, I forget sometimes when we'll be all in a room somewhere and I'm oh, okay, this is how we sound. We're very loud.
Yes.
So it's just interesting. But yeah, so I also have a cat we just recently adopted. Her name is Polka Dot, but she has stripes. So
Aw.
that's how we are. We like to be unique. So
I love that. That's awesome. Anything else?
about myself,
Yeah.
I don't know. When you ask me that question directly on, it's so hard to answer sometimes.
We're finding ourselves.
Yes, we are, through mortgages.
Through mortgages and life and perimenopause and being millennials, which people hate on millennials. Go boo on you. I like being a millennial actually, and that's a whole other topic. Okay, sorry. But people hate on them, but I feel like we are the, like you said, trailblazers of actually being transparent and authentic of things that we need to fix and heal from to be better for ourselves and for our kids and family and communities. So all these people hate on millennials. My son who's almost 15 and told me, what is that color, like a beige millennial or whatever that's called?
Millennial beige.
Millennial beige.
Or millennium, or one of the two.
I can add pops of color.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask April some questions because I did wrangle her into the mortgage industry, which now she loves. And I mean, it's a love-hate relationship, let's be honest here. Everybody can be pretty honest about that. And so I just want to ask you, April, so it's been 7 months, and in the past 7 months, you have like literally exceeded all expectations I had. Like I thought, I wanted to get you in, and like she's done so well. Like she became my loan officer assistant, and then the company used her for other loan officers because she was doing so well. And now they're training her as a processor to hopefully, process for me specifically, and added on another loan partner recently. So I feel like we're just growing, and it has been hard, but like we have been rocking it out. And she jumped into my business, which, as you guys know, it's kind of up and down, just depending. But I actually had a really large December and January, which was odd because usually those are slower months. And so kudos to April. So in the past 7 months, what are some things that you have loved about the industry?
Well, number one, it's really exciting to, because you kind of get to know your borrowers, because you have to be able to submit the loan. You want to advocate for them to get the loan.
Right.
And then so it's really rewarding when they do get into a house. I also like all the different connections we've made through like the various parties, title, our
Like insurance.
insurance. I'm sorry, I'm trying to think. My mind pulled a blank. We call them our AEs, account executives,
account
with the lenders. So even though I might not have ever met these people through in person, it just is nice when friendly emails are nice.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think off to the side.
I know, it's okay. This is our first podcast, so don't worry, but I've done a lot more, so just like, look at me.
It's my first podcast.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know what I mean, like, I've done a lot more with like pictures and videos, because I post a lot on my social media about mortgages. But you're right. I think also just to mention, April had never worked in any kind of setting. So I did retail for the longest in mortgages, and then I switched to the broker side. So April didn't have it easy learning just like one set of, one place to go, one set of rules. So she kind of jumped in and learned all these different brokers. I mean, which kind of made her like a mortgage machine in that way. So she got it down quickly, and
I like that.
yeah, see, and then I'm a mortgage machine too. So it helped because I bring it in, and then I would also advise and teach. So I think, at first it was a little hard because, I'm her little sister. We're 2 years apart, and so we bumped a little bit, but then once I was like, I'm telling you this because I believe in you and I want you to be the best of the best, and now she really is growing into that, and that operations background. And okay, April, so what are some of the hard things you mentioned, like people don't realize, which you realize this very quickly, clients sometimes and agents and other people, they don't realize as a mortgage lender or the whole team, like what's going on in the background of the loan, and like all the moving parts, and actually what we're doing to help these people qualify to own a home.
Yeah, there's a lot that we do in the background, and a lot like you are taking calls on the weekend because that's when a lot of people are looking at houses. Your evenings, you're balancing work and family, but also just like a lot of documents. We go back and forth with the lender for you because they want to know who they're lending to, because it's a long-term big purchase, so it's understandable, but we try to make it as smooth as possible for you. But sometimes it gets a little bumpy, like when you have to ask for documents that might upset someone, like
personal. It's kind of invasive, honestly. And I hate to be like that, but I feel like we're detectives about their life, and like we have to ask about that large deposit. We have to ask if they pay child support if they didn't disclose it, and people get real sensitive real fast. And I don't like some of these rules, but we didn't make them up. We are like the middleman. We follow them and we tell people what to do to qualify, to get them qualified, right? And So that's a good point because, and also I think people don't realize how many people we talk to on one transaction.
Oh goodness, you shouldn't, don't see the email trains.
Yeah, oh my God. Like I've texted the wrong people on accident and email and they're like, that's not my transaction. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But think about one side of the transaction. There's the lender, title, listing agent, buyer's agent, insurance, home inspector, appraiser, you can go on and on, okay? So just with one transaction, so if you have multiple, you're dealing with at least, 4 to 7 people, like minimum. Oh, and TCs and assistants and all the things and processors and whoever else, mentors. So, one thing I've noticed is that sometimes clients would get upset if I didn't answer, but it's like because I was on the line with my, other people or transactions, and then I, call them back pretty immediately. But a lot of juggling, lots of moving parts, and it's nice to hear someone else say that's been new, because it's like you get so used to it. But I remember one day I was like, I've talked to 120 people in one day. That was like during COVID. It was like really, really busy. And like I turned off my phone at night. Like I couldn't talk anymore.
Yeah.
My voice would go out. So anyways.
Well, you should be able to have boundaries just as a person.
Right.
Certain hours and stuff where that's just.
Yeah, you got to disconnect and be with your family and like live life and be a human being. So.
Because we are human beings.
We are human beings. Okay, so since today is Monday, June 22nd, 2026, I will say, okay, April, I'm going to ask you a couple questions. What did you start your day with? Like, beverage-wise, coffee or tea?
Oh, coffee for sure.
Yeah. I'm a coffee lover, too.
Yeah, I'm probably an addict at this point, so.
Yes. I've not eaten breakfast. Have you eaten breakfast?
I did.
Okay.
I had peanut butter toast.
Well, that's good. A couple other things. Beach or mountains?
Ooh. Well, my first thought was beach, but I love both. Yeah, I want a house in both places.
I know, me too. And we can help you with that.
Yes, you're interested.
You're interested. A couple other things really quick on this podcast is I'm going to have other people on, just like I have April today as my first guest. So thank you. Other professionals in the industry to talk about who they are, their experiences, and kind of get a spotlight on their, I guess, place in real estate and what they're doing in our world of this industry. Because I can only imagine, like, I know some of my real estate agents, like, I know one right now where she has shown someone a house for like 2 years on the weekends, all that, and this lady, she just keeps changing her mind over like the smallest things, and you can't. Sometimes you just gotta, you just keep trucking along, So I know from different sides all the different things we each all go through to make sure that our clients are in their home, building a legacy, paying themselves instead of someone else's rent and mortgage. So.
Yeah, like we've helped a few families that really needed to have places, or they were just.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And I think you're talking about, so we helped a family earlier this year, USDA loan out in Defuniak, a single wide, through a Trey Slaney. He referred them, and I'm so glad he did. Hello, Trey. He goes by Trailer Trey. He works at Clayton Homes, I believe, or another one now. And nobody else could help them. They did have low credit. They're pretty much all living with each other because they had been homeless. But you know what? They were some of the nicest people, and they did everything we asked, okay? We're not entitled. Waited because we had to extend their closing a few times. But you know what? They finally got into their home, and like that's my why.
Yeah.
Like, I love when people get to where they want to be, and it's like I picture them, with their kids picking out rooms, decorating, feeling secure, feeling safe. And I think for me, us growing up, mom only owned one house, and then dad has never owned a home, and that's okay to say, it's the truth. But, we moved around a lot. We were the people that moved around a lot in different houses, maybe in the same town, but, it's the truth. And it's, grew up, not on, I wouldn't say middle class level, but I mean, so struggling, moving, things like that. So that's another reason why, as a mortgage broker, it means so much to me. Like, I actually care because I know what it was like as a child and young adult, like to be, not secure and not have a home, particularly that you could call yours for longevity.
Yeah.
So that's why it brings me joy to do what I love, which is truly helping people. And I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I haven't gotten grouchy with people because they don't want to listen to me and they do silly things like change jobs, sorry, deep breath before closing, or buy things. Can I be a firm lender? That's who I am. I am authentic. I will be firm and I will be truthful. I don't sugarcoat as much as I probably should, but it's because I'd rather be direct and them know what to do and what I need than at the end something big happen. Which, each person to their own as a lender, but that's just who I am. I don't have to be everyone's cup of tea, but if I am your cup of tea, just know that I will do everything in my power. I will be there through the ups and downs and I will get you home. Yep. Anything else you want to mention or talk about?
About mortgages?
Yes.
The magic and mayhem of mortgages.
Yes, the magic and mayhem.
Well.
Oh, there you go. So we'll talk about that. That's great. So what is the magic? And then you can ask me and then we'll go back and forth.
Well, no, it was good though, because why are you doing this? You're not doing this just for fun. I mean, for money or like.
Well, there are some people who do just do it for money in our industry. We know that, yeah.
You want to help them and guide them the right way.
Oh, yes, definitely.
But the magic, I guess, other than getting people in their homes, it's feeling accomplished when you were able to get them to the cleared to close and to the closing table.
Yes.
Because anything could happen between.
Oh my gosh, yes. I know that is the magic of it. Yeah. And like literally, or I think for me the magic of it is like getting an exception on something, that usually like another lender couldn't do, and you're saving the day. Yeah. And because like I personally am a creative lender, so like I think outside the box, and like just over the years have learned a lot.
Yeah.
So like I'm like, nope, there's a rule above that rule, and that's the magic that I feel is when I get that exception. I'm like, woo, done.
That is good. Yeah. She definitely is a creative lender. That's why we said we do a lot behind the scenes to make sure we can
do a lot.
Yeah.
But it is worth it. And, that's why we're here. This is why, it's because, like, we are growing and we want to, talk about the realistic, properties of what happens behind the scenes and who we are and, what it all entails for people in the area. Because even, sorry, I'll talk about the Mayhem.
Okay.
We'll talk about that really quick. So I'm going to go on Mayhem and you can go next.
Yeah, go ahead.
The Mayhem. Okay. For example, I have a client, and I'm going to name him Brad, not something else that I know his name is. And Brad states that he is divorced. Went and said he signed divorce papers, but is not divorced and does not have the divorce papers yet and still wants to close right on time. But also does not want his wife to sign the deed. Okay.
Which in Florida
you have to, unless you have like a prenup or postnup or something stating otherwise, but because it's a community state. So Brad has to give me something. So that's the mayhem, is that, people will state one thing, but then they don't want to provide what's needed, and then they don't understand, and it's like, well, I didn't make up the rules. I'm just here to make sure that you're not committing fraud and things like that, right? And that everything is true. So that's something like the mayhem I feel like after this podcast, I'm going to have to figure out.
Yeah.
But I will figure it out. We'll find an exception. It may not be what everybody wants, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
So what about your mayhem? It's always mayhem. And magic.
Yeah. A lot of people don't want to provide information, which I can understand to a point, but when I have to drag it out of you, or something pops up, oh yeah, that by the way, and it's like, oh, well, we need to know this way ahead of time.
I know, right?
I'm thinking about, we had a borrower who was going to start a job, but then she wasn't, and then she was going to start, her job history was a little different. She was just a co-borrower, but still,
Wonky, yeah.
It was kind of,
it's fluctuating.
Yeah, we had to keep kind of changing our direction, which was fine, but at the end of the day, but during that, it was kind of like, really?
Yes, because I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
And it was like, never mind, cannot use your income.
Yeah.
You've changed 4 different jobs with 4 different letters in the past 3 months. Yes, that is the mayhem. Please don't change jobs during the loan process, okay? It is not just, I don't care what you do after closing as long as you make your mortgage payment, please, okay?
Yeah.
You change jobs, as long as you're getting paid and you're paying your bills, that makes Erica happy. Like, I just don't do it during the loan process, please.
Drawn out process, but it can be. Well, we close someone in 11 days.
Yeah, which we can close quickly or get cleared to close quickly. You know, just like we may have to transfer a file to a different lender, and that's the beauty of being a broker. Really quick to touch on that is that, like, for example, we have one client today where this one particular lender won't waive the taxes and insurance, and my client needs to help save closing costs up front. That's a whole, I'm not going to go into all that detail, but that's the beauty of being a broker. Like, when I was in retail, I would have lost the loan. Like, they would have to go to a different lender, because if I was with that company that couldn't switch or figure something out, sorry, you're out of luck.
Yeah.
But now, now I can switch, be like, you know what, I can put him with this lender that will let me waive taxes and insurance, and then we already have everything, get it transferred. Well, it might be cleared to close in 3 to 4 days, but 7 days, guys. If you get something, you have to wait until after the 7th day to close. That's one other, I know too many rules.
Yeah.
Because I've messed up many times and learned lots of lessons, still do.
Yeah, and I'm learning lessons too.
Yeah.
But I think that's the best way to learn sometimes. Well, to a point. You're not going to start a fire, but
Right.
you're not going to learn if you don't mess up.
Oh, yes. Excuse me. And anyways, but that's kind of like mortgages in a nutshell for the first episode, is that, we're going to be talking about it. We're, hopefully you guys enjoyed listening to some of these stories, and, it doesn't need to drag on, but it is sometimes, it could be a vent session too. We just need to make sure we're, not bashing and we're not disclosing personal information, which we're not. And one thing I will say is that I'm grateful to be here, and it's been a long dream come true. And for anyone that's like wanting to grow or wanting to get out of their comfort zone, freaking do it. Who cares what anybody else thinks? Like, I started in like the spring of 2024. I paid for help to learn how to do more social media, because I could do videos, but I wanted to learn and grow. And then I hired my own marketing person from that, and she has been helping me. So I do all the videos, she puts them together, that kind of thing. And with the podcast, it just was a dream of mine, and I'm going to also do one on other things in the future. But if you've enjoyed listening in, please, follow, share, like. If you'd like to be on the podcast in the future, I am going to start scheduling out. Please, please, please let me know. You can comment. You can reach me on my website, shinewitherica.com. You can put an inquiry. You can write me on, social media. You can text me at 850-590-8992. And let's get you on here. I've already had lots of people reach out, and I'm very excited because I am not great at consistency. And I want to be consistent in this and intentional, because it's going to be a great year, rest of the year, shall I say. And even through the ups and downs of mortgages, I'm just thankful that people believed in me and had faith in me. So thank you. Continue to do that. Please, please, please. And also, I do have my own office now. It is in Niceville. It's 1402D Catmar Road. If you'd like to stop by, just call me. It's appointment only. But I would love to see you. April, do you have any finishing?
I do.
Okay.
I'm going to piggyback off your, if you want to grow, just do it. Because that's kind of how I got into this.
Right. I had to force you.
Yeah, she was forcing me, but I'm glad she did, and she took a chance and brought me on her team, because,
Thank you.
when you're in the middle of so many loans and then you have to teach someone how to do something they haven't done, it's stressful. But my life has changed a lot just with being able to earn more, but also like my confidence because everybody's telling me
Yes.
that I'm doing a great job, which, sometimes that is hard to swallow, but yeah, so go ahead and do it and just try. You can't fail if you never try. So.
That's true. And even if you do try and you fail, I would rather fail 5 times than succeed than say I never, I'm one of those people, I would rather try to follow my dreams and fail than say I never did it.
Yeah. Just realize that saying you can't fail if you never try wasn't encouraging people to not try. It was the opposite message I was trying to say.
Yeah, that's okay.
Try.
I know we're kind of nervous. Just bear with us. It's our first episode. So, and April already is a shy person.
I don't know where to
So
look.
I had to remind her, look there. Okay, then look at me. Because it looks like a couple times you're like.
No, I was looking at the screen and then I realized it's
Like
not
your
even a camera. So I'm just looking off into the distance. So it's like.
I know, that's why I didn't mean to be weird, but I was like, look there. I'm like,
Poor
look
editor's
there.
gonna be like.
Yeah, it's Anastasia, but it's okay.
Great.
She's very nice. And also, Anastasia is taking clients to help build your social media or help post for you. So I can leave that information as well. But we'll wrap this up. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
First podcast day. We're going to kick butt and we're going to rock and roll and we're going to get some loans closed. Till the next time. Remember, it's Millennial Mortgage Mama, the mayhem and magic of the real estate world. Woo! Until the next time, thank you all again, and I appreciate your support.